my real introduction was Kush and OJ. Before then, I remember seeing Burn After Rolling on live mixtapes because of the cover art. I think I probably heard one, maybe two songs of Burn After Rolling at the time. And, of course, later on, the Say Yeah came out before Burn After Rolling, but hearing Say Yeah again, I remember, this is the song that used to come on before I go to school in the morning, but I never correlated Say Yeah with Burn After Rolling or Kush and OJ. I never knew that was the same guy until, you know what I'm saying, later on. But Burn After Rolling, I remember seeing the mixtape, but Kush and OJ was my real introduction. And how I got put on to Kush and OJ, 2010, graduation weekend of 2010, I was entering my senior year at the time. So class of 2010 was graduating, and I was entering the summer before my senior year of high school. And that weekend of the graduations, because we got Alabama, Georgia, we right next to each other. So my high school had their graduation, I think, 1 week. And then in Georgia, my cousins had their graduation the next week, if I'm not mistaken. So, of course, you got, your family graduating, my cousins. So we had the family cookout, all that good stuff. Soon as I pull up, I saw my cousin Zach, who actually does the production on this podcast at the beginning. Shout out to Zach if he listening. Soon as I saw him dapping him up, he asked me, he said, "Hey, bro, you heard the new Wiz Khalifa mixtape, Kush and OJ?" And I was like, "Wiz Khalifa?" I said, "That's the guy from Burn After Rolling." He was like, "Yeah, he got a new mixtape. It's on fire, man. You got to check it out." So I made a mental note of it. I was like, okay, when I get home, I'll check it out, because it wasn't back then where we got streaming sites or mixtape apps on our phone where I could just listen to it then. I had to wait till I get back home. So I made a mental note of it. Cool. So he graduated, and my other cousin Marcus, shout out to him, it was their graduation weekend. So I think it was at Marcus' graduation party, if I'm not mistaken. So, the function going on with the whoop, and Marcus ended up having to make some runs. He like, "Cuz, you want to ride with me?" Bet. He like, "Hey, man, Zach told you about Wiz Khalifa, Kush and OJ?" I like, "Yeah, he just told me I'm going to listen to it." He like, "Man, I've been listening to it all morning, whoop de whoop." So as we riding around the city, you know what I'm saying, he doing his graduation runs, we listening to Kush and OJ. And the three songs that stuck out to me, Mesmerize, Never Been, and In the Cut. Definitely In the Cut. In the Cut was the one I was like, okay, when I get home, I definitely got to check out this mixtape. In the Cut was the one that stood out the most. And In the Cut, like right in the middle of the mixtape. It's not like it's the first 5 songs or nothing like that. So I made a mental note of it. Got back home. I played Kush and OJ out that Saturday night all the way to that Sunday. And I was on Facebook. Do it back when Facebook was Facebook. You could just get on and just, you know what I'm saying, say whatever. People still do that, but it was a more social way of, you know what I'm saying what you want. Whole time I'm just posting about Wiz Khalifa, Kush and OJ, Wiz Khalifa Mesmerize, Wiz Khalifa Never Been. I'm just going crazy with the Wiz Khalifa posts on Facebook. And what it was that stood out to me with Kush and OJ, one, it was the production. It was very chill. This was back when, chill vibes, all that. It was very soulful, chill, smoking music. And I wasn't even smoking like that, but it made you want to smoke. You know what I'm saying? It was different for me at the time, because this 2010 now, and y'all know I always say, Wayne and Gucci were my go-to. And of course, Tip, Jeezy, Luda, 3 6 to a certain extent. But for the most part, it was just Wayne and Gucci for me. And what Kush and OJ did, not to fast forward, but, just keep on listening to Kush and OJ, keep on listening to Kush and OJ. For one, it made me go back and check out Wiz's old music. The Burn After Rollins, the Flight School, Star Power, Deal or No Deal album, How Fly mixtape with Currency. And I knew of Currency through Wayne with Young Money, because I think it was Dedication 3, if I'm not mistaken, the one that had How She On, But She Expecting Me to Eat Her. That whole crazy, man. You don't want. I think it was that mixtape, Dedication 3, when Wayne had the skit. He was like, "Don't leave, Young Money, then go off and start your own record label." And I always figured he was talking about Currency, so I was like, oh, good to see Currency rocking with Wiz, because Wayne dissed him on Dedication 3. That's what I was thinking at the time. So I went back, listened to old Wiz music, and then that led me to YouTube, watching Wiz Khalifa DayToDays. And that was really what got me on Wiz. And it's funny now, fast forward 14, 15 years later, seeing people on stream and podcasts and all that. But YouTube for me, my high school years, YouTube for me was Wiz Khalifa DayToDay. That's really outside of just listening to music or whatever. Shows I was watching on YouTube was the Wiz Khalifa DayToDays season 3 when he went on tour for Kush and OJ with the Wake and Bacon tour. And I was like, damn, that would really have me like, when I get old enough and when I get the money, when I get older, concerts are going to be my thing because I'm seeing what artists are doing while they're on the road. I'm seeing Wiz go to the jewelry store. I'm seeing Wiz and his friends doing photo shoots. They backstage at the concerts, checking in the hotel rooms. I just got engulfed in the music culture of going to concerts. So now, as an adult, being blessed enough to operate, have a job, have some steady income, concerts are my thing now, and it's kind of started with the Wiz Khalifa DayToDays. So I got to shout that out. The fashion he was wearing, part of the reason why I love to wear the crew neck sweaters was because of Wiz, the camo shorts, Chuck Taylors. My feet are probably still suffering from buying Chuck Taylors back in the day. Snapback hats. That whole 2010, 2011 era Wiz is probably one of my favorite eras of an artist. You know, you got Wayne mixtape, you got Gucci mixtape. Wiz Khalifa 2010 to 2011, that's like a 99 overall artist for me personally. You know what I'm saying? And it was a calling card. Because like I said, I was posting on Facebook about Wiz Khalifa music. You'll have girls hit you up, be like, hey, I see you like Wiz Khalifa. I like his music too. I think we can be friends. I got friendships that started off of Wiz Khalifa music. I don't know what they at now. I hope, you know what I'm saying, everybody good on the up and up. But at the time, I met friends from other schools in the area through posting Wiz Khalifa music. So it was just dope all around. And at the time, man, it just felt like I said, I was going to my senior year in high school. It really set the tone for my senior year. You know what I'm saying? That's an era I'll never get back. You feel me? That's just based off Wiz Khalifa, Kush and OJ. So like I said, I'm just posting about Wiz, watching DayToDays. And the DayToDays led me to really a very important part of my life when it comes to music. Watching his DayToDays made me go and just check out a lot of music I never checked out before. The Biggies, the Snoop Dogg's outside of the popular music, oldies, you know what I'm saying, funk, soul music, 90s R&B. That's what started. Really, without that, I probably wouldn't be here talking on a podcast about music on a week-to-week basis like I do. Because that just opened my mind. That's the blog era. So while I'm going back, checking out older artists I never listened to, I'm also checking out the current artists during the blog era. I knew of Drake before with the So Far Gone, because that came out 2009. I knew of that, but I didn't know it was a whole bunch of other artists coming up at the time. The white kid from Pittsburgh, Mac Miller. That's how I got on Mac Miller with Wiz Khalifa. And at the time, if you know, you know, Mac Miller was labeled as the white Wiz Khalifa. They dress the same, they from the same area, they go to the same studio, they got the same producers, they featured on each other's projects. Mac Miller was the white Wiz Khalifa, and they just were all around each other. You had Currency in the mix, Big Sean, that's when he was going on his feature run crazy, Big Crit doing his thing, Wale was popping, J. Cole, Kendrick, TDE, they going crazy. And later on, Joey Badass, A$AP Rocky. That blog era, 2009 to I'll say about 2013, because I remember I definitely was still going on blogs my first semester when I got to Troy in 2013. That era for a high schooler or a college kid, that's probably our golden era. You know what I'm saying? Like how they say the 90s, the golden era, that blog era is definitely up in rank. 'Cause look at the artists I just named that came from that era. You know what I'm saying? That's just me being on Twitter, being on Facebook, and it wasn't he said this, so it got to be fire. It just artists posting stuff, and it wasn't like you just go on the timeline and press play. You got to go click that link, wherever link they take you to, you listening to the music. You're going to the Dat Pills. You're going to the live mixtapes. You're going on YouTube. That was some real deal. You had to search, and you had to hear from word of mouth. hey, check this out, check that out. It ain't like it is nowadays where any given week, anybody could just pop up on the scene on Instagram and whoop-de-whoop. It was more word of mouth or you just on the internet searching. And those artists we got from that era, that's really my golden era. Because I wasn't in the 90s. I was born in 93. I didn't get to live Wu-Tang, Nas, and all that. But I lived through that blog era. And keep in mind, you got these guys who was in the mainstream. You still got Wayne going crazy. Still got Gucci. You got Travis Porter down south. Like down south, we had our own party mode. We had the Young LAs, the J Futuristic, J Moneys. You had Stewie Rock. That whole Atlanta scene was building up a lot too. Future coming on the scene. 2 Chainz, changing from Teddy Boy to 2 Chainz. Meek Mill. So we had our own culture down south, because Meek Mill used to come down to the A a lot. Rose. So while all that going on, you had the South popping crazy. Man, it was a time. It was a time. I wouldn't trade that era for nothing. That blog era was very, very special for me.